We're here with the Seasons podcast. We're here with another episode. We got a special guest with us. This is the locals only episode, only Fredericksburg only. If your area code is 540, you belong in the episode. If you're not here, you're weird. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Go ahead.
My name is Bryce, but I go by BCams over on the internet or as social media, all that. You can find me on social medias all over at BCams. Literally, I'm just content create everything that I love about anime, sports, you name it.
We love it.
Love it.
We'll drop all that in the description below for the Spotify episode, for the YouTube description, wherever this is going to be at, wherever I'm going to post this at. Future me, I'm letting you know this now. Wherever we post this at, just drop the description, put all the links in
Down
there,
below.
attach everything. But yeah, man, I've known Bryce since.
Elementary?
Damn, that's crazy.
Elementary? Because you were a year older than me.
That's true.
I'm the youngin. I'm the YN.
I've yeah, that's insane. I've known
Just
Bryce
kidding.
since elementary school. We ran track together in middle school.
We did. And high school.
And high school. I was BSing in high school.
I know.
I did not want to sprint at all.
I feel you.
And it was crazy. The coach was like, "Why aren't you sprinting?" I was
Because-
like, "I'm trying to throw something."
Nah, for real.
No, that's yeah. But we're here with a special guest. I wanted to do a locals only episode because I was like, what better way than to like push content creation forward than like including people from local areas? And it's like, what are the odds that because I've known you for
That's
so
right,
long,
that's right.
and you started doing TikTok, you started doing content creation.
I ain't gonna lie. I never expected to be in the position I am today. So
1,000%. I'm gonna let y'all know a little tidbit. I'm extra jealous of Bryce's TikTok because the way that this man be pushing content, you gotta love the hustle.
I just push what I like, man. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I talk about stuff I dislike, and that gets even more heated conversations. But overall, I love what I'm doing. Like I'm surrounded by the right people, by the right, quality of content. Like overall, it's not about just doing it. It's just showing that you can do anything you want to do and post it on the internet, and
1,000%.
somebody's gonna like it.
Somebody is gonna like it.
No matter if it's one person, if it's 1,000 people, or if it's 1,000,000.
Yeah.
Just know you can pull the numbers as long as you put in the work.
I guess that's the thing about it is like you don't always find your tribe. So I guess that's a follow up question. Like when you started doing content creation, like what made you like when you started versus now? Like what made the shift? Like what do you think really started to like?
I think for me at least it was because I started on Twitch, and what I
Yeah.
did was play an anime game called My Hero One's Justice 2. And I was playing that on my
Gross.
PC. You said what?
Gross.
I know it was gross, but at the time I never played an anime fighter like that.
Right.
So it's a game about arena fighters. Most arena fighters are like in a 3D-esque, so like for instance a Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, or another one I got is a Storm game from Naruto. Overall, those games are the same format as My Hero because it's made by the same company, CyberConnect. Because of that, I played it, but I was like, you know what? Let me see what this streaming thing can do. Because at the time, I didn't know what I really like. At the time, I was like, what, 19, 20? Yeah, I was around that age because it happened during COVID.
Right. That's fair.
So that's another reason why a lot of things did happen. But I think overall, the difference from then is the factors of, let's just say, surrounded by the right people, you see a lot of good things. Like there's a lot of YouTube friends I know that got thousands, millions subs, and that's because I was put in the right circle because of the content that I made. It's just because of the fact that I love what I'm doing. I think they just appreciate me as a person also. So it's just about just being yourself personally.
What was the biggest learning curve when you started doing content creation?
I think the learning curve was learning the algorithm about a lot of things personally, because there's some content that you put, like for instance on TikTok, there's some content I put out there that I didn't particularly like more than the other ones I made, but it did more because it was like a brass ideal, I want to say, because TikTok's a weird algorithm. It literally grabs anything it wants and it just does its thing.
Yeah.
So for me, at least, it was just learning like what people want to hear from me, but also what I want to say. And I think that's just one of the main reasons that I am who I am today, because I have no filter. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm going to say what I want to say, and I will not care. But overall,
1000%.
it's just the mindset I have, I think, really made the jump for content creation, I want to say. Because I think overall, it's just who I am. It's just, if when I get in my creative mode, I just do. I don't think. I just,
It's
like
just
for me
it's
at
just
least.
you exemplified.
Right, because I don't write scripts. Like
Right.
sometimes I might like do it like a chat GBT or a Gemini about like a topic,
Right.
like to get my brain flowing.
Right.
But that's not what like some people sit down, do scripts for like months, weeks. I can't do that. I
Months
go
and
off the
weeks is
top of
crazy.
I know some people that do it. It's crazy. I like their work ethic is different than mine, but they are definitely up there when it comes to knowing their material because they research it. Sometimes I don't
Yeah.
research it and I forget things, and it's like, oh, I did forget that. I forgot that. But at the end of the day, it's just off the dome of my personality. I just say what I say.
I guess it comes with like practice, to be honest, because I feel like a lot of those people, like especially actually the people I can think about the most, are like people who do power scaling,
Mm-hmm.
and like the amount of like calcs and researching that they do. Like if you put your face in the camera, I can only imagine like the way that they're looking at every
Mm.
documentation.
Oh yeah, for
It's
sure.
just like it's so interesting because I think like once you put your face in the camera and you're like writing script and you're doing stuff like that, I think it becomes a practice to keep it organic, where people can tell like he's not reading something.
Right, exactly. It's one of those where it's like some of them don't even show their faces. Like they
Yeah,
just record based off the script itself. Like sometimes they read
yeah,
it. Like there's some of the people that I know they don't do webcam at all, and other
yeah.
people they do webcam but they don't have a script. So it's interesting. You just gotta find your own flow personally.
You just gotta find your niche, and you gotta feed in where you get in.
Feed in when you get in.
That's interesting too. It's funny because we were just talking about anime recently, and I have to put him on the spot because when we have someone who's an anime fan and a wrestling fan, if y'all don't know, y'all know now. That's where I'm at. That's what we do over here on this side. I
Love
gotta
it.
I gotta give you your top five anime slash manga if
Top
you want
five
to right
animes and
now on the
mangas.
spot.
Okay,
Not of all time, just right now.
right now. See, you said right now. I don't know
Mhm.
about right now. I can do all
If
time
you can do all
anime.
time, you can do all time.
Okay, so anime, my top five. It's going to be interesting because it's a lot of series that a lot of people either know or don't know.
Right.
I
That's
can
true.
go from 5 to 1 or 1 to 5.
It's up to you. The
Actually, hold
floor
on.
is
Before I
yours.
do this, before I
If
do
you
this,
got to double check your sources to make
let me
sure.
double check. Let me double check because I don't want to say nothing that I deem as the greatest of all time, and it's
If it ain't
not
accurate.
in my top five.
Right.
The reason there's another reason. If you do like anime reasons or manga reasons, you guys can use a website called My Anime List. It's also an app.
Mm.
That's the application I use. But there's another one. I forget what it's called personally, but I know any something. Any watch? No,
I think it's.
that's something else. Can't give out those websites.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, no cap. We're gatekeeping all 2025.
Gatekeeping is crazy. I hope you know that.
We're in Barnes and Noble, of course. That's the home of anime and manga. So all the Funko
See,
Pops.
that's the thing. All the figures, all everything is
We're at the source.
they all like back corner over there. You know.
Chad, if I had my camera, I would. I said Chad like I'm streaming on Twitch. If I had my camera, I would walk over to the section and we would be obviously recording that. But clearly, the podcast is stationary until I use my camera. So I'm not walking with
Right.
my laptop.
Okay, I got it. So it's interesting. I'm gonna say the
Is it
English type.
controversial?
No, it's actually one of those like I was like, is it my top five? And then I looked at it again. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Go
So
ahead.
my number five anime of all time. Actually, let me flip my hands. My number five, we have Code Geass.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
Not mad at it.
I'm not mad at it at all.
Okay. Number four, we have that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
That's solid.
Solid.
Solid,
Okay.
solid,
Okay. I
solid.
thought that was gonna be controversial.
Solid.
The next one is it's a series. So it's one of those, you know, the Fate series, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
similar to that, except it's not because it ain't no darn fate. It is the a certain magical series. So like a certain magical index, a scientific
I've never
railgun.
seen that.
That series, it has the
I've
element
seen episodes of
you've seen
Scientific
the
Railgun,
because
but
of
I've never seen it completely
right.
from start to finish.
But that series is one of my like when it comes to science and fantasy together, that's number one.
Right.
When
That's
you
fair.
combine both those elements, because I like for instance, I'm an electrical engineering major. I love electronics. That's sort of my thing. So like for me at least, it's like it has certain elements of that, but it also has like the fantasy aspect because it's two worlds. You get to see the magic perspective and the science perspective, and they combine together
Yeah.
for one little world because of the city.
That's crazy. I did not know you're electrical engineering major. I'm a
Yes.
computer science major.
Oh my god! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that!
Nah,
Computer science is
that's
tough.
blending is crazy.
But yeah, that's number 4. I mean 3. Number 2 is Magi.
Okay, we're cool.
Number
We're
2
cool.
is
We're
Magi.
cool. I'm okay with that.
Magi will always be. Magi is
That's an
actually
interesting top 5.
it's Magi's actually my number 1 manga. It's not my number 2 anime. Yeah. Yeah, Magi's number 1.
Word.
Like I call that the GOAT.
Word.
Now for anime, if you think about it, what do you think my number 1 is? Just off this list
I'm
alone.
not gonna lie.
It's
Code
weird, ain't
Geass
it?
at number 5. You threw me for a loop.
Really?
So now I'm not sure. Although, nah, my pick is very head ass.
Okay.
Because if I had to pick based off your top 5, I would say number 1 is Black Clover.
Black Clover's solid though. Don't get it twisted. I like Black Clover, but it's not number 1.
I'm trying to think about something that'd be better than Magi.
I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
When I say it, you're gonna be like, okay.
All right, go ahead. I don't think I can get it.
Number 1 is Yu Yu Hakusho.
Okay. No, we're here.
Forever be number 1.
The OG.
The OG.
OG Hunter x Hunter, OG Jujutsu Kaisen.
There you
OG,
go.
yeah.
Fun fact:
Yeah.
Hunter x Hunter, the same person that made Hunter x Hunter is the same person that made Yu Yu.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at it at all. I need to rewatch Yu Yu Hakusho.
It
I think
is
my memory is like, for Yu Yu Hakusho at least, like it blends so much. Because all I can think about is
the dark tournament.
Yeah.
I actually think I think it's the greatest tournament arc in the anime,
Mhm.
but it's not my favorite arc. My favorite arc is the arc after that, which is the Sensui arc. 'Cause I really like Sensui as a character.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he got like Sensui, different personalities, different all that, and it's just like the character itself is just it made Yusuke a better main character
That's
itself.
true. It definitely
So,
did. That's crazy.
But that's the top 5. That
That's
ain't
humble. That's humble.
humble.
That's humble. You ain't come left field, so
What do you mean? Okay, what would have been left field?
left field would be. I can tell you what left field would be.
Okay.
And let me just put this out there. If this is your favorite, I'm not mad at you. I just think it's interesting if it's your top 5. If you had said something like Goblin Slayer,
Listen. I don't mind you. I've seen
or
and
Demon
read.
Slayer being top 5.
Okay,
would've
Demon
been-
Slayer top 5. Okay, but
Wait, as an anime, okay.
but
hold on.
I can see it for the anime.
As an anime, yeah.
I can
yeah.
see it. Fun fact: I did read the manga though when after the Entertainment District arc, 'cause I was
Mhm.
so curious on what would happen, and the fact that it ended so quickly for me because I read it in like 3 days. I'm like,
Yeah.
But it's also good. I don't have a problem with Demon Slayer. It's just the fact that like people say it did get carried by animation and all that, but the sales prove it that it kind of did technically
The sales
on a
The
technicality.
sales prove that because I think Demon Slayer in the manga was also leading a lot.
It was, yes. Demon Slayer was on top of its game when it was coming out. A lot of
That's
people forget
true.
that because of how long it's really been since. You know, we
that's
got
true
Demon
as
Slayer.
well. I'm trying to think of what would be yeah, I'm trying to think about my own top 5 anime. And
Would it
that's
be-
very hard.
I mean, I got one. Chainsaw Man would kind of be crazy to be top 10.
I'm not gonna lie. In terms of manga, Chainsaw Man is my number 1.
Really? Number 1 manga?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
I'm-
not bad, though.
I'm not gonna lie. Reading Chainsaw Man from start to finish,
Okay.
and part 2 hadn't even came out yet. Reading from
Mhm.
start to finish, part 1, I was like, yeah, okay.
You know, it's the fact that I didn't even know there was a part 2 until
Mhm.
like a couple months ago. Because I saw it trending. I'm like, why is it trending? And I saw it
It's
was for the
insane.
manga. I was
It's
like,
insane.
what? I mean, I do like Chainsaw
Did
Man.
you get to the Statue of Liberty chapter?
That's in part 2, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? I got to. I know who. I forgot where I left that, but I remember it was Asa. I remember Asa as a character because I remember she said like the lose. It was like a meme at the time. It was like when she said loser to Denji,
Mm-hmm.
and she like walked away.
When
And then
when you keep reading, bro, and you get to that Statue of Liberty chapter,
Okay, we can talk about that.
let me know.
Okay, if we get another part, we can definitely come back to that. I'm not gonna lie. It's interesting. Chainsaw Man is solid. I'm not gonna sit up here and say it's not. But number one, I respect it.
Number one, it has to be. What? It's crazy because I had Jujutsu Kaisen in my top 5.
You had it, but now it's not.
Now I'm having a love hate relationship. And I
Because
just want to say for everyone
because
at home, like when Jujutsu Kaisen finished, it took a lot of my street cred away. A lot of my friends called me when it was over, and they were like, "What the hell is going on?"
not gonna lie, I do love me some JJK. Don't get it twisted. But the way that y'all talked about the ending was kind of crazy. I actually enjoyed it.
I
It
don't.
may be a hot take, but I did like it.
I don't know. Spoiler alert for anybody who's not there yet. I don't know if the internal dialogue of two individuals at the end of that fight was necessarily advantageous what Gege was trying to do. You're telling me
I think
someone
he
who
did a
had an
solid
internal
job.
monologue that said, "I'm going to die," and then people are saying that he was not struggling? It's
Okay,
cool.
I feel you on that, but
It's
it's just
cool.
like I think it did its job. It did what it needed
I don't think
to
it was
do.
a bad ending, but I do.
There's definitely worse.
There's definitely worse.
It could have been worse.
I think what it is believability, and that's a lot of
Right.
my issue with Jujutsu Kaisen towards the end is believability, especially with Megami and Sukuna definitely. And as everyone was coming in, like believability is a really important part. My biggest issue, I kid you not, right now, it's not even the Gojo stuff;
Okay.
it's the Urarame Hikari stuff.
Oh my god, that boy sucks.
That's my
That
biggest.
that boy sucks. I'm keeping it a buck. Hikari.
That's my
fun
biggest
fact.
issue.
Me and my boys. There's one of our homeboys that loves Hikari. Everybody else just dogs on him because we
I
don't
love
like
Hikari.
him.
I love Hikari.
Hikari. They don't like Hikari. I don't. I think he's mad.
I have no comment for that.
I don't actually. It might be a hot take. I don't like Toto. I don't like Boogie Woogie
I'm not really mad at that.
because like you telling me you're my because of the fact that I don't like for instance Yuji said his type of woman that he liked. No, it was Megami because Megami was like,
Oh, he got the scrapping.
and then he got the scrap, and
He
I'm
was
like,
"You're lame."
just because he don't got your type of woman, don't mean you gotta scrap him like that. Like he did him dirty.
He German suplexed him too.
My boy was about to pull up Maharaga.
Nah, but hold on. That's
Pull it
Megami
out.
though.
Pull
That's
it out.
trademark Megami.
Pull it-
Megami didn't put up Maharaga
Okay, but that's
time
like-
he in peril.
Okay, that's similar to like Gray from Fairy Tale, because he always tried to do the ice shell,
I'm a strong.
because the ice shell, right?
You know what? Let me say this too. I don't rock with Fairy Tale.
What? I think Fairy Tale,
Not for the
As-
reason that everyone hates it.
as crazy as this
It's just
about to
not for
sound,
me. It's
I
not for me.
enjoy Fairy Tale. Fairy Tale is solid. I don't think it's like, yes, there's moments that it's like, wow, but it's like, it's just something about it that I can't hate
I would.
personally.
I think upon like reading and watching Fairy Tale, all I want to do is either watch Fire Force or Black Clover.
But technically, I mean, I feel you, but Fire Force also got like those moments too, you know,
But there's only one character.
because it's Tamaki.
It's one character.
But he wrote her like that so we can have some comic relief. Because he
Yeah.
wrote Soul Eater similar to that as well.
Yeah, that's true. But I think Soul Eater has a different undertone.
Right, it do. Because Soul Eater, I mean, he made them both.
Yeah, he
So
did.
it's like,
You know, it's a crazier hot take that I have, and don't crucify me for this. Y'all
I'm
don't
not.
crucify me either.
I'm listening.
After the Chimera Ant arc,
For the manga,
I stopped liking Hunter x Hunter.
I wouldn't say stop liking it, but it's like I haven't read it. I haven't read the manga ever since the anime ended, so I can't say nothing about it. I thought the Chimera Ant arc was good,
It was phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
I don't know
Put
any-
that out there. It's phenomenal.
but it's like after that,
It's just paragraph reading.
okay, because I did see he did do that, and I'm like, I don't know if I could read that.
I read a chapter recently from Hunter x Hunter, and I was like, I can't finish this. I was like, I don't want to read all this. The
And I
last time I
feel-
read that much stuff was when I read Hikari's Curse Technique.
And that curse technique is so stupid.
It's busted though.
It is busted. Not gonna lie. It is a good busted ability. But actually, I got a quick one for you. Not too crazy.
Mm.
If there is one anime genre you could erase, like in general, like let's say you got the slice of life,
Mm.
you got the fight, you got the shonen.
Right.
I treat shonen like a genre. It's like a demographic, but I treat it like a genre because it's like, you know.
If I had to get rid of one,
But if you had to get rid of one, what would it be? I already got my answer.
and it has to be an anime,
It has to be anime genre.
isekais,
Woo! Why?
because I think the ones that I like do it really well, and I think everyone else does an okay job.
I feel you on it, but if you
Like,
get rid
for
of,
example,
but if you get rid of
Shield Hero,
isekais,
cool. Reincarnated
know
as a
about that.
slime, cool.
facts.
Anything adjacent to those two, I'm cool with. But, as I extrapolate further,
Okay,
there's
so
a
like,
lot of isekai.
are we
animes
talking
that
about
I'm
like, let's say the vending machine isekai
there we go. That's
and
one.
the I actually do like this one, but I can see why people don't. But the sword one too.
Yeah. What's the one where homeboy got hit by a train? I'm trying to think.
The train or tractor,
I don't remember.
because Konosuba is when it's the tractor one. The train one, I gotta think.
I'm trying to think about what it was. I had just saw
But
the YouTube video.
but if you get rid of isekais, you're getting rid of the shows like Shield Hero and Slime.
But in comparison for me, I feel like I'm okay with taking those two L's for everything else that comes behind it.
I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of crazy because I think isekai.
Oh, no, I take it back. Not isekais. Slice of life. There we go.
Whoa. Okay, now that one I don't agree with.
Now let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
That
though.
was
Let me tell you why.
crazy.
Though. It's due to my experience. I've only slice of life I've ever read is Spy Family, and
So you just need to branch your horizons.
right. So as due to my
Okay.
limitations, it's either
Okay.
isekais or slice of life. because
okay,
I
you know
only
what?
have-
I'm not.
one.
I thought he crucified me for a second. And that's okay. Just because
I
just because
actually
you
like
haven't
slice
seen
of
it as
life.
much. Okay. I'm not mad over
'Cause I
that.
definitely watched Hormia, and I was like, I like that.
Okay, so you did like Horimiya.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just because I know there's so much slice of life, and I know I've
Mhm.
only watched two. That's the way I think about it. Because when I think of a shonen genre,
So do you do?
I can't get rid of it.
So do you treat slice of lives like romances as well, or do you separate them? Because there are slice of life that have like you consider a slice of life like a romance or a slice of life like as just everyday life. Because there's two. Because you know the two.
I think that you can separate the two if one takes precedence over the other.
Right.
Like if you have a romance and they're like they have superpowers in it, like I count that as a romance, not a slice
Okay.
of life. But I think that if it's a slice of life, it's going to require romance a little bit.
Right.
So
right.
it's like I separate them when it matters. So Sword Art Online, it might be a shonen.
It's an isekai, technically, because you're traveling to another
Isekai.
world. Actually, Sword Art Online is the reason why we got a lot of isekais in general.
That's fair. That actually is true.
Actually, no, fun fact. Inuyasha is technically an isekai because Kagome keeps traveling to another world.
Hold on. That might unlock something in my frontal lobe. That might have
See?
done something.
See?
I wasn't
Because
ready for that one.
Kagome, right, she keeps traveling back in that time frame to a different time where Inuyasha lives, right? Because of that, because of the well. The well is an isekai platform for her to go, because it's another world compared to the world that she
It's an
lives in.
isekai this
Yes.
whole time.
Yeah, that's why I said. You know how crazy that is to think about? Yeah, Inuyasha's an isekai.
This is my issue of older animes is that there's the plot thickens. The plot thickens. You know what's crazy? I have a much worse hot take that you're not gonna rock with.
Okay, I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it.
If we take away the nostalgia and epic moments of this anime,
Dragon Ball, I'm guessing.
oh yeah, never mind. That's correct.
Okay,
I love Dragon Ball Z for what it's supposed to be.
right.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay. Actually, this is an interesting conversation because with Dragon Ball,
I will say Piccolo carries the aura the most.
he be aura farming.
Bro got his what
He
was
always
it? Daima, he got back to regular size.
He be
Immediately
always
threw on the fit.
He be dripped out, bro. Like I gotta stop him.
It's
The
the most
Piccolo,
important thing.
he be aura farming like a mug, but it's like
Yeah.
he cool, calm, collected. Like Piccolo always been like that.
Yeah, big stepper.
Okay,
Honorable
so
black person.
there is an interesting take because I could verbally say Dragon Ball Z is probably the best iteration of Dragon Ball because you do have Frieza, the Cell arc, Summer Boo, all that. But if you had like other than Z, you got the original, which is Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball, I believe, should be locked in the vault and kept away.
You got GT.
Also, no, we gotta let it
and
go.
And you got Super. But now that you have now that you have Daima, right? Other than Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, out of those three, since Daima just ended, right?
Right.
People vividly say either Daima is trash or good. Even though, because people are saying because of the fact that Akira Tozawa is passed away, they released the last episode on the day that he passed, which has been a year from now.
Right.
So it's been a year since the creator died, R.I.P. Mr. Tozawa. But my whole point about this is, with Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, and Dragon Ball Daima, does that take away from the factor of the love of Dragon Ball? Or does that add more effect to see how really good Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z really was?
That's a slippery slope. Because I think that you can't... You know what it is? Is that for every series that's came out for Dragon Ball, you can't throw away all of it.
You can't. You're right.
GT, you can't throw away Super Saiyan 4. You can't throw away Gogeta, Vegeta. You can't throw away that. You can't throw away Super 17, regardless of how dumb it was. You can't throw away Baby.
Can't.
Baby Vegeta, you can't throw it away.
Omega Shenron.
Nuova Shenron. And then Super. You
can't throw away Ultra Instinct.
You can't throw away Ultra Instinct. You can't throw away Jiren. You can't throw away Hit.
I mean, you technically could throw away Jiren, but
I feel like you can't.
You're right, but it's like his backstory in the manga was okay. That made sense. In the anime,
It just sounded like Vegeta should have reconciled. Because I feel like my biggest issue in the anime with Jiren is that at that point, the only difference between Goku and Vegeta is power. I mean, not Goku and Vegeta. Between Goku, Vegeta, and Jiren is just power.
Right. Because Jiren at the time is the most unstoppable force in all of the universe.
And the strength of Jiren, I feel like they kept moving the needle for.
Right. They just made him more and more stronger without much like backstory of why he's this strong.
I'm trying to think about Super. You can't get rid of 17. You can't get rid of Merge Zamasu.
Right. Like, don't get it twisted. They all have their moments of good and bad.
I think the problem is that if you get rid of any iteration of Dragon Ball, you miss some of the most pivotal things, even if it's not majority of the time.
Right.
And so I guess this is what I think. I think that as long as people treat Dragon Ball as like we're always going to have good and bad moments and iterations of such, and we're only here for the epic moments, I do think it can only add. However, after Daima, I do believe we've now reached a plateau in a sense. And we can only go down. And I'm only referring to like the manga Super that's not come out yet for the Granola stuff and Moro stuff.
Right.
That's still gonna be great stuff. But I think after that's over and after Daima's finished, I think we have reached the peak. Because from there I think it gets weird.
Because it's funny. Because Daima took place between the end of Dragon Ball Z and the start of Super.
And that's where everything is taking place. Is
right.
The end of Dragon Ball Z.
And the crazy part is, he gave what the fans wanted. He did something that a lot of people in anime and manga, they don't do. They give the fans what they want. They gave them Super Saiyan 4.
Right. Respectfully, all this does is upscale Oob. I just want to put that out there.
It truly does. Because we still haven't seen him in Super.
All this does is upscale teenager Oob. That's all it do.
Another thing about Dragon Ball, I think Goten is wasted potential at this point.
I do believe Goten is wasted potential. I think
him
everyone
and
who's
Trunks.
not Goku and Vegeta are wasted potential.
Well, Gohan's he's starting to get it.
But I guess my issue is like you have such a big cast
of characters
that only some of them are useful.
Right.
And the reason why I say this is because this is a perfect example. Like the Tournament of Power was convenient for the Z fighters to all be fighting and actually get some time to shine. But if you think about it, they will never be required because Goku just copies all their techniques at a high level. There will never be a time where we're like, we need Tien. Like that's never gonna be how to. Like no one's gonna say that verbatim.
I mean, they don't need the King Ho. Yeah. They don't need the Tri-Beam because they got that Goku can just use the Solar Flare.
Or Vegeta can just use the God of Destruction.
True. Or they could get Piccolo out of nowhere.
Yeah, with with the aura, and I think Piccolo makes the most sense. And this is my issue too, is I hope that like they don't take this avenue to like upskill the Z fighters, because now we got Orange Piccolo, we got Gohan Beast, we got Vegeta, we got Goku. So now we got 4 hitters. We got Broly. So actually no, we have 5.
No, we got 5 because of Broly. Don't forget Beerus, God of Destruction.
But we're talking about the main Z
Oh
fighters.
yeah, you're right. But
so
still,
we have 5. Well, Broly's in the Z fighter, but OG characters, I guess. Well, I guess technically Broly wouldn't count because he's a movie character.
well, no, Broly is canon now because of that.
That's true. So we got 5 heavy hitters.
And it's just
on the Z fighter side.
and it's just a fact, right? You got to look at it. I don't know where this story's gonna take.
And
I
that's
don't know where
another
they
issue
gonna
that I
end it.
have. You're telling me there's 12 universes, and we just
Only seen 7,
yeah.
and we haven't like explored like other planets.
And I think
other
it's crazy to go
universes.
to the demon realm and Daima because I'm just like, how do we get here?
But it was tough.
It was tough. I'm not mad at
I
it.
like the fact that it was a new implement on the story.
Yeah, I do think it was very ambitious. I do think it paid off. I just think that it's crazy it took Daima for us to explore anywhere outside of like the 12 universes that we already have.
I think it's interesting to see other things because it showed the dynamic of Vegeta and Bulma very well as well. Like I want that. I want that in my life. I ain't gonna lie. I respect what Vegeta did.
You
it's
got
like,
to. You got
Cause it's
to.
like, my boy, he said, I need my bath time. I need that.
Yeah, because I feel like, as a man, I understand Vegeta completely.
For sure.
If my significant other, my wife tells me if I'm missing out, yo, whatever villain this is, I'm out.
I'm out for sure.
I'm out.
For
I'm going
sure.
home. I'm going home. Take me home.
Take me home.
1,000%.
No, for sure. Take me home.
You
That's
know
what's
what's crazy? I have a hot take too.
Okay. Got a lot of hot takes, I see. We all do.
I have one webtoon that I would put in my top 5 if I could.
Okay, so there's a couple that I can think of off rip. I want to say it's either 1 solo leveling or 2. There's another one. I forget the name
It's
of
not
it.
Tower of God. It's not solo leveling.
Okay, so it's probably this one I'm thinking of. The one that's getting an anime this year.
Ordeal.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
Ordeal is a black webtoon, and the art and
It's just there. It's just there.
the panels. I would like to put it in my top 5. Once the war arc is over in Ordeal, spoiler alert for anyone who's reading, once the war arc is over, it might get in there. Because as it stands, and I have to say this because I have to stand on business. I can't be fake. Kagurabachi is also creeping in ever so slowly into my top 10.
This man loves him some Kagurabachi. I didn't know that till today. He been loving it before we even started this. I was like, all right.
Sakamoto Days is creeping into my top 5.
As it should. Sakamoto is like that.
One Piece is levitating.
Levitating is crazy.
Because I have a love-hate relationship with One Piece.
Love, hate? Okay, wait. Actually, matter of fact, topic. Big 3. We don't, it's there.
Now or all time?
At this point, it's like you got Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. So it's like, those are the 3 animes that revolutionized anime in the West.
Right.
That and Dragon Ball.
Right.
Can't forget Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon. Don't forget about
Shout
Sailor
out to
Moon.
the OG Sailor Moon.
And Yu Yu. Because Yu Yu low-key was like
That's
that.
true. Shout out to the OGs.
But my point about this today is anime where we at right now, based off where it's been for mangas and animes. I do like the art style of the 2000 animes more than the ones of today. Because personally, I do like the retro feel of it, but 2, it just feels more like not glossy, but like not too much about the animation. It was more about, for the time frame we were in, these were the limitations we had.
I
but
agree.
it was
I
also
agree.
just the fact that it's
agree.
like you look at it and it's like I can go back to Naruto any day and it just
Watch.
hits.
Yeah, it just hits every single time.
Or I can sit up here and watch. Like, for instance, there was this 2000 anime called Elemental Jade I watched. I had not known about nothing about it. I just saw it on Crunchyroll. I watched it and I just felt nostalgia because it was a 2003 anime. And it was just something about it that it just like piqued my interest of I really do like the 2000s era of animes,
I agree.
even the
I agree.
underrated ones. And I just like the art style of that more than today. Yes, there are some hitters like JJK, Demon Slayer, and My Hero, for instance, with all these animations. But I firmly believe that
I
the golden age,
agree. I do think that now and nowadays, I agree. You're required to have a certain studio to have a good animation, and
right?
that's what people care about. I do think it's been modernized in
And
the same way
that's
that music is as
it's
well.
sad, but it's
Yeah.
also just the fact of we got so much anime. Like you really got to look at it. There's so much anime and mangas out there for the general public. Of
Yeah.
when people think about it nowadays, it's like because of how mainstream it is, it
Mm.
shows how much of a culture shift it really determines on people.
But I will say, and this might be a hot take, I think the newer gens do emotion in relationships a lot better than the older ones.
Like the female characters, for instance.
That too.
I believe there's a strong cast of female characters nowadays compared to the ones from before. Like when you think of back then, it was Sailor Moon.
Mm.
Like that was the typical anime woman when it
Mm.
comes to main characters. But now you got like, for
Maki.
instance, you got like Maki, you
Mm.
got Uraraka, Toga.
Maki is crazy.
Just thinking of characters right now. Chill. Um,
No, I'm just thinking of her back.
oh
I'm
yeah,
just
her
thinking of it.
backstory is like that, and it's like
Shout
because
out JJK.
because you got to think about Uraraka, right? With the fact I'm
Or
talking about
Rocket too.
Ochako from My Hero, by the way. It's the fact that she was broke.
Yeah.
She was broke the
She
whole.
just wanted to make
She was
money.
broke, want to make money, but you also determine her as a character with her dynamic with Toga. It
Mm.
really shifted because it pushed her to be better, to work on her
Yeah.
quirk, to get better as a female, and it just showed her as a great character. Yes, I'm not sitting up here saying that there's things she could have improved on. Yes, there's a lot of
1,000%.
characters like that. Doctor Stone with Kohaku.
Makimo.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of other characters. Osaragi from Sakamoto days.
Noelle, Black Clover.
Yeah. Akira Kao from Sakamoto days.
Absolutely. Good call. Good call.
I'm trying to think about other people. I'm trying to think of.
Your Forger.
Yeah.
Anya Forger.
Yeah. I'm
Gotta
trying to
throw
think.
out the Forger. Shout out Spy Family. I love Spy Family.
There's someone I'm thinking of, and I can't remember if she's a woman or not. Let me check. Hold on. Let me double check.
What you mean? That's crazy. That sounds crazy. But that's besides the point. I think the female main, not like the main, like in the aspects of main characters and side characters, they've done a very much better job nowadays compared to the previous iterations.
Yeah, and I feel like the reason why I say that is because there we go. Huyuki from Kagurabachi.
Ah,
She is a woman. Confirmed. But like even like the emotion of like Aki's backstory in Chainsaw Man, I
Mhm.
feel like nothing is compared to that unsettling feeling that Chainsaw Man has done. And the reason why I say that is I feel like what newer mangas are doing is I feel like they're all capitalizing off of elements that
from the previous iterations,
yeah
because
that
you
they
can
were
see
just starting to
elements.
work on.
Because the thing is, you can see elements taken from Bleach, My Hero, and not My Hero, Bleach, Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Naruto. But
Yeah.
now with all these newer mangas, you can see them implements from My Hero, Black
Mm.
Clover. You know, it's just people are taking things from the previous iteration and putting a spin to it. And I think I do enjoy where we are right now. And like we don't have like a big three in general because that was just a once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
And I think because you look at it now, a lot of series are ending. For instance,
A lot
One Piece about to
earlier.
end in the next 5 years, so that big three is
Allegedly.
done. And then you got like Black Clover's finishing,
Yeah.
Fire Force is done,
Yeah.
JJK is done. Like
Mm.
series are ending a lot sooner than I
A lot
expected
earlier.
to.
And I guess I'm not really mad at it because I feel like people should just be able to tell the stories they want to tell
Right.
instead of like trying to do like 1,000 year run. I mean, not 1,000 year run, 1,000 chapter run. Because I feel like the only reason why One Piece does so well in such a long run is because Oda from the beginning wanted it to be that.
That
And I think
storytelling.
that's why it stays that way. And I think other people don't want to necessarily run that long or be that far sighted or future sighted, if you will.
Right.
But I guess what it does is that something that I don't like that One Piece does that I feel like they can learn from things like Sakamoto Days or
Mm.
from Kagurabachi or from What's another one? I'm gonna throw in a left field solo leveling Mission Yazakura family is fight choreography, and a lot of the newer series can tell stories a lot better in fight choreography. But the OGs is like Naruto, Kakashi versus Obito, and I feel like they're taking it and they're really like,
They're enhancing it.
yeah, they're evolving it. Even with Maki, spoiler alert. Even with Maki when she would go pick up her sister
Hmm.
before the Culling game started.
Yes, that moment is hands down one of my favorites in JJK because of the fact of how Maki it was as a character. She was
Mhm.
always seen as the weak link, the weak link.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact that it took a different element, and then once that family realized they messed up, they
And the
messed.
pivot,
Hey, belt the ass.
the tone change was crazy.
It was because her character, right? Mind you,
Mhm.
we after you see what happened in Shibuya, you're gonna see
Mhm.
what she looks like, and once you see what she looks like, she's just scarred up. Because
You know what's
that was
crazy?
crazy.
I just remembered that number one favorite arc of all time is Shibuya Incident.
Number one, I still do. Shibuya is like that. I do. Shibuya changed the game for JJK.
I
That
got it at
changed the
number
game.
one.
Because this was for
It's either that or the Gun Devil arc of Chainsaw Man.
the which arc?
The Gun Devil arc.
Oh yes, yes, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
But
That's,
it's
that's
so
towards the
hard.
end of the first one.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
so hard for Chainsaw Man because it's blurs together. Like you don't even get a chance to separate the arcs. Like you have,
Right.
you just it's just nothing but a roller coaster. You just can't get off the ride.
Not the like it's a roller coaster like the Anaconda.
Yeah, 1,000%. I hate roller coasters, by the way. It's just Chainsaw Man will always be up there. That's why I'm gonna keep collecting the volumes. But to your point, I think yeah, like they're capitalizing off of things that the older OGs didn't do. Like the storytelling aspect of One Piece. Like everyone always says, like the critiques they've had. We've
Right.
had critiques for like what I guess like 30 years now. And so like
mean, it's-
someone has to be able to capitalize off of it, and it's usually like the assistant. Like
One of the best selling books of all time,
yeah.
which is insane.
Or
A
another
manga being
element-
in the top 10 of all time is insane to
and
me.
it's insane to me because they're outselling in such a crazy way. I saw the
They're
sales in
outselling,
units.
like-
It's wild.
I forgot
Batman,
the series.
Superman.
I think they're close to outselling like Hamilton and stuff like that.
I think they are.
Because it's like number 7.
I think so.
At the end of the day, One Piece has revolutionized the game for manga. I'm not gonna sit up here and say you don't gotta like it, but it is a
You do have to
series
respect it.
that
But it's
you gotta
weird
respect.
because it's it's
Revolutionizing.
revolutionizing in a way that you can't really replicate.
Right, you
Like,
can't.
anyone who goes after it and is like, I want to do something like One Piece, you kind of
You can't. And I started to realize that the more I like get older, it's like One Piece as a story is just insane to me because it's like it's been going for so long
Yeah.
to the point it's been going before we were born.
Yeah.
And it's just a fact that right now we're at the age we are in our almost what
25.
in our mid 20s almost. It's the fact
So
that it's
wild.
still going. And it
Still
just
going.
shows one how dedicated Oda is to his work.
I remember
But
one time I
also-
told my friend, I was like, I hope when I have kids, like I know what the One Piece is.
We're getting there. We're getting to that point.
I
It's
hope-
almost there.
I hope I know what the One Piece is.
It's
by the time
almost
I have
there.
My firstborn.
It's interesting to me because I've always been a Naruto guy since day one.
As am I. As am I.
But the older I get, the more it's like the other two, they
Mhm.
are good. I'm not sitting up here saying they're not. They are good because the fact that it took me forever to get into One Piece because it's like, what is the point of it? And then when you finally get into it, you're like,
Yeah, that's
okay, I
true.
see it.
That's true. Because I didn't get into One Piece until Dressrosa, and then I had to go backwards.
I'm sorry. Wait. So you started at Dressrosa and then went backwards?
Mm,
That's actually interesting.
because
to
at
see.
the time, I think what it was is that One Piece was not my thing for a long period of time.
But you needed to see what like that moment was.
But I also think Dressrosa was not a good place for me to start.
It
because
wasn't.
Dressrosa was a very,
It's very long.
unrealistic,
Very long.
unrealistic One Piece.
Fun fact: Dressrosa only took one day. It was only one day.
Yeah, and it was so long in the manga. Because Wano was literally a year and some change, I think.
Wano is literally yes. Wano is the long.
The longest, I
the-
think.
Yeah, because Wano has a lot.
Yeah. My only issue with One Piece is this, and this is why I think starting from Dressrosa was not a good idea, was because I was under the impression that everyone who's key players would be involved a lot more closely,
Mm.
as opposed to being like
Like the
characters
Straw Hats
yeah, as opposed to being like characters like Blackbeard who you know are still doing mischievous things in the
and
background
Law.
in law, and they just upscale to when you get there. That was the only thing I was not
Cause you
the
didn't know who
biggest
they
fan
were
of.
too.
Yeah,
So
because
you
it's
were like,
like
who are them?
because I understood Blackbeard's significance, but now in the manga, I'm like, I wish. I mean, granted, we're getting a lot more play from him now, but even what we got with Garp was still showcasing Garp. It wasn't even showcasing the Blackbeard pirates. To
Right.
be honest, they were just durability.
I'm not gonna lie. With Blackbeard, I don't like. How should I say this? I don't like Blackbeard.
Oh,
I don't.
whoa, whoa,
I don't like Blackbeard.
that's crazy.
It's not crazy. I just don't like Blackbeard
You know, I respect the take. I've just never heard that before.
because
Actually, you know what? I have heard that before. A lot of people don't like Blackbeard. Now that I think about it,
Blackbeard's an asshole.
I mean, that's his point. He's a true pirate.
Exactly. But it's messed up because it's like
That's fair.
he is the reason why Ace is dead.
Yeah. Shout out to the donuts. You know, rest
The
in
donuts
peace.
is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I knew he died, but when I got to that moment and I saw it, I'm like, why does this hit?
One of my friends started watching One Piece when I was in college,
Oh,
and she was like, "I love Ace so much." I was like, "Ooh."
It's just the fact, like I didn't really get the significance of why Ace is like most people's favorite, and I finally got it because once he died, it's like okay, I actually see it now because the backstory really
Yeah.
explains it all, and it's just like, damn.
It's insane.
But enough about that. I just want to say something.
I
the
can
big-
sense the pivot. I can sense
The
the
big
pivot.
three, right? I think my favorite arcs are the following. For Bleach is Soul Society.
Okay.
I think I will forever and always love the Soul Society arc. It was just something about it that it just got me into Bleach quick
Mm.
because I think overall the quickest I got into like the anime was Bleach because
Mm.
the tuning exams took place like afterwards, but you got to the Soul Society like early. But
Yeah,
it's
that's
literally for
true.
me the best arc because it involves all the captains.
Mm.
It involves the betrayal because Aizen, Lord,
He's a bad man.
that man was a problem. And
That
then
was
let
bad.
alone you got Ichiko training, becoming better. This man knew a Bankai. He got a Bankai. No, some
That's
people don't even
true.
get Bankais.
And it's very lame how people are stuck with shit guys in certain ways.
Some people,
it's
it
hilarious.
is lame. It's just this man Ichigo literally went. You know what's crazy?
Mm.
This wasn't even his power to begin with. It was
and
Rukia's.
That's still the crazy part.
It was
Off
Rukia's.
the substitute abilities.
It's just the fact that all of that was Rukia's. And now that it's just like, you think about it, you're like, Rukia's literally that strong, low key.
Yeah, that's true.
From that
And
moment.
that makes sense too when you think about her Bankai and what she couldn't do with it at that moment in time. It does make sense.
Because it's like, I looked at it, I'm like, she can't do her Bankai. But she's still strong for not having her abilities, like her full
Yeah.
abilities. That also is another reason why Rukia is one of my favorite characters because it just shows how really strong she really was. Yes, she was a damsel in distress at the moment.
Oh my
But,
god,
like,
so much.
I felt bad because it was like her brother did that.
My favorite Bleach arc is probably the Espada arc.
That's not a bad choice. I like the Espadas.
All the Espadas, they just hit different.
I think of overall, my favorite is Ukiura, but I do like Grimjow.
Stark is my number one.
Stark is not a bad choice. Stark is not a bad choice.
I have to say it. Stark is number one. My
I
number
didn't,
one
I did
Espada.
not like that. I did not like the weirdo, the pink hair one.
I ignored him.
I did not like him.
He's crazy. 'Cause you were thinking about big three arcs, and I was like really like wrapping my head around like what would be my favorite arc for Naruto, and I'm still trying to think about it.
It's easy for me because I like OG Naruto over Shippuden all day. So for me, at least, I'm going Chunin. I go tuning, but also tuning. I say this, tuning for influence, but my personal favorite, low key, is probably the Sasuke retrieval.
I'm
'Cause
probably going
that showed
pain
how
arc.
badass those Jonins were.
That's true. That's true.
Cause Neji,
Neji was
was a
Neji, He
problem.
was stepping. He was stepping 1,000%.
And then it's just the fact that like Orochimaru assembled a squad full of jackasses.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He
He did.
Orochimaru was literally the number one villain in Naruto until they didn't make him.
number one. So that's a good pick.
I do wish Sasuke would have kept the curse mark. That is my only gripe.
Yeah.
Because them transformations were so tough. And it's just like that would have made him more
He was
powerful.
stepping too. He was big stepping when he had the curse mark too.
The curse mark Sasuke was a problem.
Breaking
Even
arms.
Kakashi couldn't even control that dude.
Yeah, it was bad.
And
It was all
Kakashi
bad.
been through everything.
I think my number one has to be the pain arc.
That's not a bad choice. Not a
I
bad
just
choice.
think of Jiraiya. You know, my eyes water a little bit. you know.
Jiraiya's death will always hurt.
Oh, spoiler alert for anybody who's not there yet.
Hey,
Well,
boy,
actually, at this age, at your
Ain't
grown
no
age,
spoiler.
we should already be there.
If you haven't watched it, that's all you.
That we should already be there.
Respectfully. It's been what?
It is what it is.
2 decades?
But you know what's crazy? I have a crazier question for you. I just thought about it because
Okay.
I was on a wrestling podcast a month or two ago, and they asked me this question. They were like, "What's your current Mount Rushmore of wrestling?"
My Mount Rushmore? Like, of current superstars.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can go all time if you want.
All time is kind of crazy too, but I think
I
currently.
think current would probably be better.
Okay. I do. Fun fact: I do like the NXT product a lot.
As you should.
I do enjoy
Makes
NXT.
sense.
Yes, Black and Gold was it, but I
Beautiful.
do like the current product as well.
Black
I
and Gold was
really-
different.
I really have enjoyed the women's side of things
I agree
as well. Of what fun fact, because I think the women's side has become a lot much better
There's
over
some
the
monsters
years.
over there.
Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair. And people
Gila.
are starting to see the Liv Morgan hype train. They're starting to see it. EO. Like, you got hitters. And then you got underrateds like Dakota Kai,
Mhm.
Lyra Valkyria, Zelina Vega. Like, there's some sleepers too in the division. And then
Storm
NXT.
Zero, Tiffany,
And then you
good
got
old Storm
Jade.
Zero.
Jade just came
Jade
back.
Cargill's
Naomi.
crazy.
And then in NXT, Jordan Grace is now in
Yeah,
WWE.
from
Stephanie
TNA.
Valkyria.
Yeah.
Julia, and then Kalani Jordan. She's like that. Jada Parker, the metaphor girl. Like, there's
Cora Jade. There are a lot of heavy hitters.
a lot
now
of
that I
heavy
think about it.
hitters. A lot of up and coming heavy hitters too.
Yeah, that's true.
Tiffany Stratton. Tiffy time. It's Tiffy time.
I'm trying
Love
to think of
Tiffy.
Who else am I thinking?
But I
There's
think
someone I'm thinking of.
I think my Mount Rushmore is very simple though. I think Seth got to be in it
Okay, that's fair.
for current. It's got to be Seth. Got to be Roman. Got to be Cody. Now that last one, I'm just talking WWE. I'm not talking about all the other companies
Let me change my Mount Rushmore.
because that would make me include like Takeshka, Omega, and like I forget his name.
Osprey.
Yes, Will. But I think overall, I think for WWE, my last choice is Drew. Because I think Drew deserves a lot more respect.
Drew does deserve a lot more respect. You know what's crazy? It sucks because if you had asked me before this iteration of certain characters, I would have a different current Mount Rushmore. Like Nakamura would be in my Mount Rushmore if it wasn't for how
Shinsuke
they
was
did him.
nice.
If they wasn't for how they did him, he would
They
be my Mount
they
Rushmore.
did do him dirty, yes.
But I think I'm stuck with the same thing. Rollins, Reigns, Cody.
Because it's like, to me at least, those are the three big stars.
Respectfully, I have to throw in my number one favorite of all time.
CM Punk.
I got to do Styles.
Styles is like that. Styles is like that.
I got to do Styles.
So there's another question. We're gonna switch to wrestling. With the current iteration of the Paul Levesque era, the Triple H era, what are some things that you are seeing in this era that is different than the previous iteration of Vince McMahon?
Vince McMahon always had this mindset of when it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. And sometimes he would shove it down your throat in a very abrasive way. And I think like Paul is actually taking the time to like stick with stories and like not toss people aside like they toys, but also trying not to force things too much. Because I think like Now, I will say what he's been doing with Jey Uso has been amazing. I do wish they fired the gun off a little
Much
bit
earlier,
earlier,
yes.
or even with the bloodline with what he's doing with Fatu.
I mean, Jacob Fatu, man, he's just a monster.
What he's doing with Fatu is insane, and it's unfortunate because he's kind of overshadowing Solo, and he's not making Solo look like the dude to order people around.
I'm not. I mean, low key, that's not Solo's position right now.
That's true
He
too.
is under Fatu because he go. Because remember, previously before he lost to Cody,
Yeah,
they always came out with Solo. It was
Yeah.
always "I love you, Solo," and that chant got over.
yeah, that's true.
Tama Tonga got over just by saying "yay, yay, yay, yay."
And it's crazy. That's not even how he be moving.
He-
He's
that-
such a smooth thug in the ring.
Yes,
Turn him into an animal.
and that he get over because of that is crazy to me.
Yeah. I'm just glad he keeps that consistency because I think another thing that Paul did was he bridged the gap between WWE and TNA. When he brought, this is when I took like Triple H. Well, it's not when I took him seriously, but when I really was like, okay, we actually have something. When he brought the guns over,
The Motor City.
when he brought the military machine guns over, I was
Raise
like,
your
okay.
fist.
I was like, hold on. Let me sit up. I was like, let me sit up.
Eh,
He brought a
I-
tag team that's gonna actually shake his whole division because I don't think there's anybody
I do.
since the
I
Usos
do.
that have that type of
I do like the way the SmackDown division is turning out now.
yeah.
Because that title is not on the bloodline. See, my whole issue with the tag teams were they were implementing to the Judgment Day and the main storyline and the
Yeah.
bloodline, and they weren't focused on that division. Like,
yeah.
so now I believe we're gonna get a ladder match for the SmackDown side of
Mhm.
like the Street Profits. They're killing their characters. Oh my god,
yeah.
they are vicious. I
Yeah.
never taken the Street Profits seriously as heels before because they never been heels, but they have been.
And I'm
just
so angry
killing
because as much as I love the Street Profits right now, give me Montez Ford. Give me the single run.
I'm not gonna lie. Give Angelo Dawkins the single run. He low key been killing it.
I take both, but I feel like they need to do. They should have already popped the gun because now we're stuck with. People are gonna be stuck with them as heels, and then they're gonna break.
They're gonna
up
be
and it's
heels
not-
for a while.
Yeah, and they're gonna be faces in order to do the separation because they can't do it as heels.
I don't know. It's
I think
interesting.
I think that's how the New Day is getting dropped the ball on because the New Day as heels looks menacing, but they keep losing. And if they break up as heels, it's not going to look as
Well, the whole reason they broke up as heel, well, originally, it was because they were gonna. Because remember, Odyssey Jones would join them for a little bit,
Oh, that's true.
and then he got fired.
Yeah.
And the breakup was gonna be over. They were gonna choose Odyssey over Big E. But because of that, it threw a
that's
wrench
true,
into their
that's true,
plans.
That's true.
Still, the New Day as heels is something they did need
I
because
agree.
at the time it's like they've been stagnant for so long.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're gonna be the next tag team champs on Raw. It's just
Mhm.
how do we get there is my thing.
That's
Like the
true.
New Day gotta become menaces.
Yeah.
Y'all did this for a reason. Right now, I'm not taking them as seriously as I should be.
Mm.
And that's my whole issue with the tag team division.
And that's my issue with Paul's era right now is that I
The-
need him to build up more independent stars to
Right.
take over mid card belts and world belts. Like right now, we don't have outside of Roman, Seth, Cody, Punk, Drew. Like we don't have main event caliber stars on the ready for title defenses if it doesn't involve them, and
Right.
that's my issue right now with them. And that's kind of like I wish Paul would look at other products and be like, okay, this is what they're doing better. Because I feel like Paul could take notes from how they did the TNT Championship
Mm-hmm.
and apply that to the IC title, the US title, or shoot, even if he wanted to the world title. But I guess like right now, the world title for SmackDown is stuck where it is because of Reigns, and then you have to give it to Cody, and so forth and so forth. But in terms of the mid card titles, I feel like he could do a much better job in setting up his contenders because Jay should not be flopping from mid to the world to mid to world. Like he
Right.
should be,
He shouldn't be hot potato.
Yeah,
It's either you do one or the other.
he should be big stepping in the world title scene and just leave him there.
Because right now, Jay is literally the most over person in wrestling.
Yeah, and if they take too long, they're gonna miss their opportunity to take the belt and put it on him because the Yeet thing will go by, and by the time he's champ, it won't even have the same effect.
Well, the Yeet movement is here. It's Mania. He not losing that Mania. the thing is, it's what they do after Mania. You gotta make
And
Jay.
that's the issue. Is Jay
be-
needs a new finisher, in my opinion.
Well, he just needs to become Jay is the sympathetic baby face.
Yeah.
I don't think Jay he has to lose to somebody viciously
Yeah.
in order for that title to get off of him.
Yeah, I agree. 'Cause
When
I
he
think
gets
first
it-
defense needs to be Jimmy.
I see. This is crazy. I think they're gonna do both of them win a title at Mania. I think Jimmy wins the U.S. title, and I think Jay wins.
Actually, that is a good point. It's
the
probably
b-
too soon
the-
for Jimmy
the
to be
big one.
jumping in main. Yeah, that's fair. I do want Jay versus Roman again
for the title. Yes, I think that would be nice.
because I feel like the last time we got Jay and Roman, it was when he tapped him out. No, he tapped out Jimmy, and Jay was like, I quit.
No. It was when Jimmy kicked Jay at SummerSlam.
Was that the last one-on-one they had?
Yeah, because remember, Jimmy was out. Jimmy came back, had the hood on, took the hood off. He's like, "You're not gonna win that title," and then they had the match at Mania from last year.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was a blur to me.
I only
I think
remember
the last time significantly that I think of Jay being on top is that cage match with him and Roman.
No, the last time Jay was on top was the IC title.
With Roman?
No. Oh, with Roman.
Yeah.
Roman, no. Roman, the last time was SummerSlam. But with let's say Jay in general, the
No, Jay has been
IC
stepping
title,
with the IC title.
he should have, because he changed the title from what it looked like previously. Because now they implemented the blue on it, and I think it looks much more better.
I have no comment on the title belts because I want the OG white belt.
I'm not gonna lie, I do like the ice. It grew on me.
I can't relate.
I do like the US
I
though.
think what it
That
is
US
'cause
title
of
is nice.
New Japan's IC title they used to have. I think that's the
Mhm.
reason why I like WWE's old IC title that had
Right.
the white strap.
The right strap is nice, but I actually like how the titles look on the women's side
No, the women's
because the
belts,
women's belts are white.
I'm so proud of Paul for doing that because I feel like Vince would never take the route that he's taken with
Right.
the women's division. I feel like he would never.
My
put them
only gripe
It's
with it
just insane.
is my only gripe with the women's division on the
Mhm.
mid card side is you don't have those mid card women because they're all implemented into the tag. as well.
I feel like it was a big mistake to include the women's tag team championship.
Yes, because at the time, right, they should have always had the mid card titles. I think the tag titles should have been on NXT
I agree.
because there are a lot of NXT tag teams.
I agree.
But
Then
now
there
that they
is main
implement, I
roster.
mean, because we got a first taste of mid card because of NXT. NXT was the stepping stone
right?
with Kalani Jordan,
Yeah,
Fallon Henley, and now Stephanie Vaquer.
yeah.
The thing is that is just
But,
like to
yeah,
me, it's
you're
just with the mid card, you just need to build more characters. Like Chelsea Green should not be should not keep going after Meechin. She need to
And
branch
that's
out.
my
a little
issue
bit.
with the tag belts because I feel like like the women's North American Championship. I feel like there's so many.
It's
other
so
ways.
fresh.
Yeah.
Because you got Jada Parker, Kalani Jordan, Sol Ruka,
Yeah. Like just get rid of the
Zarya.
tag
Like
belts.
you got so much opponents for Stephanie.
Yeah, let's retire the tag belts and let's focus on building contenders for
Well,
the main.
see,
in the
Here's
mid.
here's the thing. I don't think they should be retired because I think Liv Morgan about to have a monstrous run with Raquel with the titles.
I don't want her to though.
I don't either, but it's just the position she's
Not because
in
I don't
right
want her
now.
to have the belt, but because like the monstrous energy that'll come from it, and you have to keep like think about it like this. The way I think about it is like
I don't know who
you
would
have
beat them.
Liv and Raquel, right? Now you have to constantly build up teams over and over and over again to be
Right.
contenders for them when you don't have enough. So it's like so Liv Morgan, Raquel, that's one, right? You have Rhea and whoever she chooses to partner with.
Well, I don't even see. Now that WrestleMania is coming, we now know who Rhea is supposed to face, and it's Bianca. But she also
Mm.
has this match against Io. I don't think they put Io off the card. I think they implement a triple threat. I think it will be Io versus
Io's a crazy
Rhea
pick to
versus
put in the
Bianca.
game.
But Io is so over. It's like, would you really? One of the, if not the best female wrestler out right now. It's like it's definitely Io.
I think it's between Io and Gila.
I think Io is number one.
'Cause
I think Io is like that.
I do have Io in top three. I do have Io in top three. I think Io, if they give her the belt, I want her to treat it like Asuka
Well, here's the thing, right?
and just have her moonsault everybody.
The fun part about that is like Damage Control as a faction is just there,
Yeah.
which is my like Dakota Kai is starting to get a push. I like
Yeah,
that
that's
because I do
true.
like Dakota. Kyrie's out, but what do you do when she come back? You gotta throw her in the tag team division again, or are you going to like?
I want Kyrie to go back to NXT.
I want Kyrie to do something
I want
like
the insane elbow. I want her to have the belt straps. Just drop them.
because when she came back, she was a menace,
Yeah.
and then they went cold because she kept eating pins.
Yeah. Because I don't want them. I don't want them to do the same thing to EO. Because EO is such
Right.
a wild card to keep in the women's
No,
division.
EO is. I think. I think if they do the triple threat, I think EO wins.
I'm not against it because I feel like
I
Bianca
think EO
can't win
win.
because of
See,
Jade and Naomi's stuff.
That's another thing. It's like, what do you do with this Bianca, Jade, and Naomi
So
situation?
now I feel like they have to add EO because it doesn't look believable for Bianca to win.
Right, because Bianca, I actually, you know how crazy this about to sound? I think Naomi brings a faction. I think she comes in with a faction.
What, like BFAB?
No, I think she brings the Metal 4 girls up, Lash and Jakara, to go after Jade.
I'm not against that.
And then Jay's
I'm not
gonna have to
against
get
that.
somebody on to with her. It's gonna be Bianca.
Mm.
But then after that, it's like, do you keep Jade as a baby face or you make Jade this aggressive person she is now? Because if she's this
I think you can do
aggressive,
both.
right? If you make her aggressive, I think Bianca might be the mastermind low
You know
key.
what's crazy? What I really want them to do. You know how Mark Henry's Hall of Pain was? I feel they should do the same thing to Jade.
With Jade, yes, absolutely.
Just have her walk in, hit the little glam slam, walk out.
Not gonna lie, Jade need a. I forgot they do have that. Jade need to take that U.S. title
Yeah.
and go on a Monsters run.
And again,
Just do it.
They keep giving mid card titles. So this is my issue too. They don't have enough women wrestlers on the main roster to supplement their mid card title.
I mean, I feel like they do. They just need to implement the story.
But and that's my issue. They don't have enough screen time. They don't have enough story implemented
Well,
for
they
other
do
people.
now because it's 3 hours. But the whole thing is it's been dragged. It's been dragged. Yeah,
3 hours. Is
3
crazy.
hours SmackDown. But the thing is, Raw ends at 2 hours and 30 seconds. I said 30 seconds, 30 minutes because on Netflix he can implement what time he wants to finish it. The thing with SmackDown, you gotta
3
stick to
hours
that 3
is-
hour
3
session.
hours
I
is
know
so
that is the
crazy.
whole issue with SmackDown right now. But now that it's WrestleMania season, you're going to get more implemented because Cody's on SmackDown. You're gonna have Cena on SmackDown.
Mm,
We gotta figure out the Jade and Naomi
The Rock.
situation, and then like
you also have Punk too.
Punk. I mean, Punk's on Raw, but you know he
Punk's
still
such an
need.
awkward
You
iteration.
still need that favor from Paul Heyman.
Yeah, you do. You do.
It's like my whole issue is now there's so many things that can turn to a triple threat. It's like I don't know what to expect. And I
People
think
are
that's
thinking Rollins, Romans, and Punk, but I don't. I don't
mean,
see that.
after what Seth just did, it's just like he literally. I ain't gonna lie, I like Seth a lot, but he rode CM Punk he's been riding CM Punk a little bit too.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? I always heard that backstage he's never liked him. Like I've always heard that.
Well, that's because he left the company.
Yeah,
He
but
always was a fan of Punk, and
it's
then
the
he
same
left the
smoke.
company.
The thing is that like it's the same smoke that like Hangman and Punk had, or MJF and Punk had. Like I
Right.
think of it the same way, where I'm like, oh, this is gonna be amazing TV.
I mean, Punk and Drew had the feud of the year last year
Mm.
because they just that Drew. I need that Drew McIntyre back. That Drew McIntyre was a menace, and I
Right.
love that feud because even though they both were injured,
Mm.
they were on TV yelling at each other, and then when they
Yeah.
finally got in the ring, this man Punk busted him open with the toolbox.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like,
There's so many ways to go about it, but I feel like and I think this is the problem with like character and story. They're in a very delicate place with their mid card title because they can bring anybody from world title down, but it'll shake everything by having someone like for example, let's say Punk dropped out of the world title picture, although they never would do that. If you were going to mid card title, you have no one story wise that can be up there with him unless you drop Jay or you drop someone who's already in
Well,
the world title picture.
you build someone up.
And what are the odds they're going to do that? Because I think even what they're doing with Braun right now is kind of dimming him a
I
little
mean,
bit.
the thing with Braun, they've been wishy washy lately. I don't know why. I think Braun needs to
Braun's an
be.
absolute monster.
He just needs to be dominant. That's my whole thing. It's just like he don't got to be a babyface. He can be what he is right now, a tweener.
Yeah, and just
Like
let him go out and let him be dangerous. And
because
go
he's
home.
a problem.
Yeah.
My whole issue with
We
it is
have
like,
no Lesnar. The closest we have to Lesnar is Braun.
I mean, my whole thing with Braun is like they put him on a catapult in his first year, kind of, but it made sense. He got the IC title twice now.
You couldn't slow down Braun's start. You had to catapult him because it wouldn't have made sense for the
You
aggression
can still
that he had.
because the thing is, right? It's like who's gonna face Jay once Jay wins? Is it gonna be Gunther again? I don't want that.
I don't want that either.
I think Gunther's finally like he's in a place where it's like he don't need to be in the title picture because
You don't need the straps.
every time he's in the title picture, he's gonna have a long reign
Mm,
because there's nobody that's going to beat him.
mm.
And then, so who's next for Jade is my whole issue, and that's where the draft come in because they're gonna have the draft at the Mania.
That's true. The draft
So it's
is very
like
important.
if you do the draft, keep them on the brand.
Yeah.
You can't. You can't like. You can't like put somebody on a brand and then they make them come to SmackDown.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
But if you do that, you got to make a trade.
Because this is my issue too with Tamatonga, is that that's another mid Carter.
Well, he's a mid Carter right now because there's no Tongaloa.
A big stepper, but even if Tongaloa came back as a manager, or even whatever the case may be, and I get that that's like why they want to put it on hold, but it's like Tamatonga as a mid Carter is a crazy thing to have in the chamber.
Because Tama got to eat pins. That's the reason they don't want Jacob to eat a pin.
And that's my problem, because it's like you messing with Tamatonga, the big dog, the bad boy Tamatonga, and you're not letting him.
It is a issue where they are. That is one of the issues I do have with this new regime. But it's been an issue with wrestling in general. You make some of the fan favorites eat pins, like.
Yeah.
And it's to me, it's just interesting to see like certain like elements. Like for instance, like John had to eat a couple pins before he became big. Roman had to eat a couple pins before he came big. Like a lot, like it happens
Everybody
in wrestling.
Eats pins.
Everyone's gonna eat a pin. My whole thing is like, once you push somebody to a certain level, you can't make them like become down again.
Yeah, you'd be very careful, especially if you plan to put straps in later down the road. Because if people stop caring about him, congratulations, you just ruin your own plan.
Like I believe Jay is our new Jeff.
I'm not mad at that.
I don't think Jay's momentum will ever stop. Now that he's in, like it's been 2 years. This Heat move has been 2 years.
But I do want Jay to get a new finisher.
I mean, I'm fine. Like, here's the thing.
I want an additional. Let me rephrase. I want an additional finisher.
Right. I
think Spear J, Splash J is cool or whatever, but I think he needs one more.
I feel like he could. But here's my thing. I feel like they're gonna cook. It's just how are they gonna cook?
No, they're gonna cook 1,000%. I just feel like the same way Cody has the trifecta crossroads. Like I feel like that'll really put Jay in a certain main event status if he has that last thing in the chamber.
Right. He is main event Jey Uso, but it's like I'm not gonna lie. When he won the Rumble, that is one of the most intriguing decisions I've ever seen. Because he is the most over person in wrestling. And it's just to me, it's like you put the most over person in wrestling actually over. Okay.
Have a good time.
No, this is what we wanted. This is what the fans want.
Or what do they typically say? Hey, we're all gonna get paid.
Right.
That's typically we're all gonna get paid.
It's the fact that you now have that, and then you also got to think about it like this. Now that Cena, it's so crazy to me that this man sold his soul to Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and now you're gonna have heel Cena versus Cody Rhodes. I've been thinking about it a lot.
I never even
Does Cena lose at Mania?
Oh, that's a real.
Because you still have a whole year. Do you put the belt on him now? And if you do, And he's gonna be. It's kind of tough because of his work schedule because he makes movies as well. I think his work schedule is much better, but it's like, what are you going to do
That's
now that
actually
he's
such
healed?
a hard thing to understand because if you think about it, Cena's not even the final boss. The Rock would be.
The Rock is.
So it's like you have Cena on this tirade of being a heel, but it's like how can you? It would have to be DQ.
My whole see, this is my whole thing. This is my prediction. Now it is because I just thought about it. Cody, he needs to lose, but like, how are you going to make him lose? He he did it. He did this thing last year with Roman. It's literally the same story, except now it's John. Like, who's gonna help? Who's gonna help Cody?
Maybe
It's gonna
Cody,
be Roman.
Maybe Cody loses by count out.
There's no way. No, because The Rock going to implement. Remember, he's the final boss.
No, like let's say Rock
He's
intervenes, and does the people's elbow against the Rock bottom, in order to avoid Cena from getting the belt as well. You just have Cena sit in the ring. He's just like I didn't
But it's
come
the
here to
main event of night 2. You're not going to let Cena. This is his last Mania match.
But it's like that's so difficult. If you let Cena lose his first like major match, and then you take the belt off of Cody at a time where it's really awkward.
But here's the thing: it's like you got to look at it like what is the benefit of Cena winning?
If you think about it, there really isn't one because he's not the final person to carry the belt.
My point. Why? My whole thing is he sold his soul to The Rock. We got heel Cena. That first promo going to be telling of how this is going to go.
I honestly have no idea. And it makes me nervous
because
it's like Cody can't lose the belt to Cena.
See, this is the issue. It's either Cody win or Cena win. Or implement Punk and do a triple threat. Punk could do the favor from Paul to be like, put me in the main event.
And that's crazy numbers. That's crazy numbers.
I think it might be a triple threat.
Or, you know what's crazy? I wonder if Punk's favor would be Cena versus Punk, and then
At
do
SummerSlam.
Cody and do Cody versus Rock.
I think that would be the SummerSlam match. I think that would be the SummerSlam match. Because they're doing night 1 and night 2 in SummerSlam this year.
Which is such an odd thing to do.
My whole thing is like, because SummerSlam is the WrestleMania of the summer.
Right, that's true.
My whole thing is like, does Cena get the belt and then lose it at SummerSlam? Or do you...
Cena shouldn't have the belt at all on his retirement run, in my opinion. It doesn't make sense.
You don't think he should get 17? I think he should get 17. It's just, how do you get him to get 17? My whole thing was, I don't think he's... Because my thing was, I was going to have him lose at the Chamber. I think Punk would have... Because my prediction was Punk was going to win. Cena would have been the WrestleMania. He need to go on a loser streak because I thought babyface-wise, he need to get his mojo back. But the fact that he turns heel is kind of crazy because it's like he just turned heel. Do you think just turning heel, he's gonna lose? It's Cena.
Nah,
it's
he
crazy.
shouldn't. He shouldn't. So that means he's a catch a dub, a different.
It's just it's just weird because it's like I don't know who's gonna win. And I think that's the best thing about this is it makes the story much better.
And you
it's
like, could go either way.
Because now I'm more intrigued. Because at first I'm like, Cody versus Cena, I'm not intrigued. Now it's like, okay, they got a story.
Yeah, now we got something to work with. That's crazy.
Because at first I was like, Cena won, yay, but like, what's going to happen? And then he turned heel. I'm like, okay, new Cena, like new theme probably, new equipment. It's like,
it'd be crazy if Cena's heel theme was Thugonomics.
That'd be tough. But like, I don't think Cena loses. As much of a John fan as I am, because he is my GOAT, I don't think he loses. I don't think you can make him lose this. He gotta like The Rock gotta get one. The Rock gotta get one. It's either Cena wins, and if he wins,
what if Cena wins by DQ?
They're not gonna do DQ. Remember, The Rock is the final boss. He
no,
can
but
implement
because
anything.
Cena's goal isn't the belt.
Cena's goal is 17. He needs one more for 17.
No, we're stuck. We're stuck.
It's the fact of
We're stuck 1,000%.
it's the fact of this is my issue. If Cena loses, you're gonna have to make Cena turn on the Rock. So the heel run was really worthless. You gotta make him win. You're stuck. It's one of those. It's like if he loses,
But it's such a weird place to drop off Cody.
it's a weird place to drop off Cena. That's why it's so intriguing because it's like, where does this story take us?
So if we let's say Cena wins, then Cody needs to be back in the picture.
If Cody yeah, if Cena wins, I think Cody gets it back at SummerSlam.
I'm not mad at that.
It's either Cody
I'm not
gets
mad
it
at that.
back or Punk gets it.
Yeah, I see it now.
Because we're gonna get that one more Cena and Punk match.
I see it.
That
now.
chemistry we saw, there's no way we don't get it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I see that. I see that.
My whole thing is who's gonna be on the Rock side.
I guess that's where things get awkward.
Because like you got Cena,
Hmm.
you got Travis Scott for some reason.
Odd placement, yeah.
It was that was weird. I don't know why he was in the ring, but that's besides the point. Then you got, I think Seth might join The Rock on this part. Because remember, Cody, he's like, he already told Cody, actually, no. Seth got to deal with Roman. Never mind. Ignore. Well, actually, that might work because remember, Roman ain't with cahoots with The Rock no more. Roman got to work with Cody. So Seth going to have to work with Cena.
Because he said he'll never be on a team with Roman again.
Right.
That's weird, though. Cena and Seth?
But it would make sense, low key.
It has to make sense, but I feel like Seth is such an oddball to put.
Seth is an oddball in general because it's like he attacked Roman and Punk.
Yeah.
It's at a point now where both of them probably going to win.
And that's why I don't think it should be a tag team because I think Seth is he's just writing he's just doing what he has to do. I don't like you. Curb stomp, I'm out. So I
Right.
feel like if you put him in a tag match, I think it takes away from
Well, it's not a tag match. I'm talking about like a faction.
Oh, for the sake of the feud? Yeah, okay.
Like, because of WrestleMania, we got 7
This
weeks.
would be the Authority 2.0.
It literally is the Authority. Because The Rock can do whatever he wants. Because he's at the top of not CEO, TKO. Remember, he's on the board. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He's the final boss.
Yeah, I see it. I see it now.
Because he told Sodi, he's Sodi. He told Cody, I want your soul. Cody, I ain't gonna lie, Cody gotta be on his Homelander vibe now.
I do need that.
Hey, I need
that.
Headhunter Cody. Headhunter Cody, that would make this much better.
Then we have
He gotta be aggressive.
We have Homelander Cody who takes on villain Cena.
Cody gotta be aggressive.
It writes itself, ladies and gentlemen. The story writes itself.
It writes itself. Literally, it writes itself. But WrestleMania gonna be interesting.
1,000%.
I think WrestleMania is gearing up to be better than last year.
Yeah, and
last year
it's
was
looking
peak.
like I might have to buy seats.
I'm not gonna buy seats. Those seats are $6,000.
Never mind. Never mind.
I was like, how much are them tickets? And it's in Vegas? Nah, I'm good.
Oh no, we're not going.
We good.
We're not going. I'll watch it live.
Watch it live. Watch it live with the boys.
I'll watch it live. Dang. With that being said, gang, it's been an honor. You got any
Privilege.
closing remarks? Any final statements?
Appreciate my time here. I loved it.
Yeah, we gonna have him back on.
Oh,
Trust
for
and believe.
sure. We gonna talk about everything. Like, I didn't even get to the sports factor yet, but we get that next time.
I don't watch sports.
Exactly. He a bump. Now let me stop.
You know what's crazy? I've always been able to play the sports, never
But
watch
you never
it.
watched it. Yeah. I mean, for me at least, I will always talk about anime mangas. I definitely have more questions about that. I definitely have more questions about wrestling because by the time we come back, there's a lot of things that can happen. Who knows?
Lo and behold, we probably already talk about it as this podcast episode closes, which is crazy.
Highly doubt it.
But make sure y'all follow him on every social media platform possible. I'm gonna put in the description of everything I can possibly do to upload it. 1,000%. I appreciate you coming in as a guest. This is the Seasons Podcast. If you want to close us out, by all means, close us out.
Shout out the Seasons, low key. Everything here was great. I officially do believe is a lie here. This guy got a lot of potential. Not gonna lie. I don't know why you're not subscribed or hit that like button yet. Go do that. All right. Better follow this man. This man got the potential to be the great. Not the great. The GOAT. The GOAT.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right?
Thank you. Thank
Right
you.
or wrong?
Thank you. I guess I'll never
listen,
know.
Listen. We gonna keep going up as long as y'all give us the support. That's all that really matters.
That's true. That's true.
So, without y'all, we wouldn't be here.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say.
All right. Well, big steppers. Make sure y'all tune in the next episode of Seasons and touch the grass.
Touch grass is crazy.